Hi everyone, Jasper, Basson here, founder of Drake Holdings and the financial director of Lead Optimizers. My guest today is Gary van Aswegen. Just a quick bio of Gary. He used to be an ex-professional rugby player for Western Province and the Stormers. Also later on played for Eastern Province Rugby. And in that time, and now as full-time, but at that time part-time, running a part-time business, home-based business in network marketing, and also more recently started doing some digital marketing for clients, as well as motivational speaking gigs. I hope I introduced you correctly. You can fill in the gaps for me as well, please.
You got it spot on. And yeah, just from my side, thanks for all the work that you've been doing, not only with regards to our business, but I think you're doing a great job with the value that you're adding to your potential customers and your following. I really do enjoy your videos and the content that you've been sharing recently on different social media platforms. So yeah, in terms of my introduction, you got it spot on. Professional rugby player, started my network marketing business, and then also started consulting a couple of people on their social media strategy online. So that's about where we are right now.
Before we get to the various subjects of the day, just tell us a bit more how you developed the motivational speaking as well as digital marketing. How did that develop in your network marketing business?
Obviously, I started out as a professional rugby player. I was always looking for something to do on the side. Many professional sportsmen don't really consider life after sport, which was a worrying factor for myself as well personally. And you know, in terms of network marketing, I think it's such an awesome opportunity for anybody looking at becoming an entrepreneur and building something for themselves, especially part-time, because you don't have that massive startup capital that you need to start a business. You don't have to have a label. We always say you can be from Yale or you can be from jail. You can start a business. So there are very few restraints in terms of a network marketing business. And I partnered with an American-based company in health and wellness, which really served me well as well, because I enjoy nutrition. I like helping people and inspiring them to live a healthier lifestyle. So in terms of the products that the company offered, suited me and my personality and my values well. So that's where I really started out. And then in terms of marketing myself, you know, I think there's a difference between selling and marketing. A lot of people confuse the two, but I needed to find a way to market and brand myself to generate more leads for my network marketing business. And I did a lot of work online, did a lot of courses and a lot of research, studied what works and what doesn't, and essentially started branding my personal brand as Gary van Aswegen online. And through that, I actually got a lot of speaking gigs and opportunities from people that, you know, wanted me to speak on various different topics at companies and at various different business. And I also had a lot of people asking and inquiring in terms of helping me build their personal brands and giving advice in terms of their marketing on a digital perspective and from a digital side. So that's how it sort of like evolved. It actually all evolved out of personal branding, if I can put it that way. And yeah, I've become comfortable with that. You know, a lot of people are uncomfortable with branding themselves because they have a fear of what people might think about them, or, you know, fear of being rejected, because it's a nasty world online and it's public, like it's open for everybody and anyone to really have a go at you. So, but I think if you understand the power behind it, it's phenomenal. Like there's so many opportunities that can open up by branding yourself on a personal level. So that's sort of like what it derived from. I won't see myself as a motivational speaker per se, but I do enjoy inspiring people. I do enjoy giving people hope. I do enjoy giving people practical advice on things that I feel I have knowledge about.
Of personal branding, the two of us discussed it a while back as well, but there's a very thin line between personal branding and being
100%. I think that's a lot of I think it sort of like ties into core branding strategy, if I can put it that way, that I like to go about things and that I would consult clients on as well. Is a lot of companies, a lot of business owners, a lot of people in general, even if you're an individual, you brand yourself in a way that it's all about you, and it's all about getting you out there and how amazing and how awesome you are, or how amazing and how awesome your products are, or your service for that matter. And I think you need to change that around slightly, and you need to make it more about your consumer and your customer. That's a great way of going about it, is to really build your brand around the value that you can add to your consumer, the value that you can add to your ideal customer. That's the customer's got to be the hero of your story. You can't play the role of the hero. You have to play the role of the guide. You need to guide your consumer to the destination, but they need to be the hero in the story. And I think that's a good way of going about it, so that you don't come across egocentric and all about me, and really go in with an approach of adding value to your customer, which you are doing. I mean, you chat around entrepreneurship, you chat around tax advantages, you chat around financial literacy. That's the things that I've come to notice in your newsletter, in the videos that you do. That adds value to the people in your sector and the people in your industry, which is completely different to saying, hi, I'm Jasper Basson. I'm the best financial advisor out there, and there's nobody like me. Follow me here, buy my product there, or have a look at my services, or whatever the case might be. It's a completely different ballgame.
Topic of the day. Business entrepreneurs need to be consistent. They need to, in my opinion, have daily rituals and habits. I know the two of us differ a bit in our rituals, in the sense of morning and evenings. I'm a morning person. I've never been, but I've become a morning person. I see the value of 4:30 to 6 a.m. every morning, doing certain rituals, doing daily habits. Please give us some feedback of your daily rituals. I know you're not a morning person, but you're a night owl. And that's fine by me. I won't criticize you on that. I won't keep it against you.
That's fantastic. No, I think we've spoken about this often, because we like sharing ideas with regards to habits and disciplines and certain things. There's so many things that I need to work on as an entrepreneur myself. It's not easy being an entrepreneur, I think. Like, people think it's this awesome thing these days is to be an entrepreneur, but it's really not easy. It's not like as luxurious as what people think. And you need to be self-driven, self-motivated. In terms of morning rituals, or just rituals in general, as you said, I'm not a morning person. I've never really been a morning person. And I think that's something that I've learned to deal with. There's certain things that I do start my day off doing that are important for me. I wake up anything between 6 and 7 o'clock. I wake up more frequently at night these days because we've got a newborn. So that's changed slightly. But I found that what I do like to focus on when I do get going in the morning is just to prioritize my day, which is important for me. I'm not the most structured person either, and that's not how I operate at my best. People are different. But for me, all that I like doing is just to get my day going with a sit down. I like to read my Bible, go through a few verses and so forth, so I can mentally get into the right frame of mind. I pray as well, first thing in the mornings. A lot of people that are not religious will obviously meditate or whatever the case might be. For me, prayer is a powerful way of getting my mind switched on and in tune, and just in the right frame of mind. And then I prioritize my day. So I would write down what I would call the income producing activities that need to take place first thing. So that needs to consume the first part of my day activity wise is the income producing activities. I'll give you an example. Something like personal development for me is something that needs to come either before hours or after hours. That is not necessarily an income producing activity that I would want to consume my day with. So an example, for me in my network marketing business, I need to be speaking to people daily. I need to be sharing my business and my opportunity with them daily. That is an income producing activity for me. Whereas reading a book leads to efficient income producing activities, but it's not the specific activity and the practical activity that's going to get the job done. So for that, I need to make time. I like doing that before I go to bed, for instance, will be my personal development. I will read specifically for at least 20 to 25 minutes a day, done deal. But I won't let that take part of my day that I could be doing income producing activities. So I'd prioritize those income producing activities first. I'd dot them down one by one on a list, and then I'd make sure that I get through them first, and then I'll get to secondary things and tertiary things that I need to take care of a little bit later. For me, that's just a way of getting a little bit of structure in terms of my to-do list, so that I make sure that I get to the most important things. We've got a saying in our business, this is specifically with regards to personal development. A lot of people, they don't do self-development, but they do shelf development. You know, they've got all the books, they've got all the information, but it's on their shelf, and it looks all pretty and it's all organized, but there's no real activity, you know. So that's what I really try and focus on, and it's something that I work on daily. You know, as an entrepreneur, you drift often because it's easy, especially if you work from home. It's easy to drift and to get consumed by things that are irrelevant. That's why I've put off the TV as well. That's just a habit that I've learned. Like we don't have TV. We watch series over weekends. But I know if I'm going to watch TV, or if there's going to be some TV, then I'm going to watch 5 overs, which is going to be where I'm going to start. And I'll just watch 5 overs. 5 overs will become 10 overs. 10 overs will become, I'll watch the entire cricket match, you know. And then obviously there's no income producing activities being done for that day. So I try and eliminate distractions in that sense as well. But in terms of morning rituals, wake up, start my day, walk to my living room, grab my Bible, go through a few verses, do my prayer, prioritize my income producing activities, get to work. And I think the time that I make, that I lose in the mornings, because I don't wake up most times before 6, I generally do make up at night. Ek is nogals 'n nagaapie, you know, who can really get creative after 8. You know, and I'll seldom go to bed before 11 actually, which is pretty different, I would say, but that's when I'm at my best. So, yeah, as you said, people do differ. I wouldn't suggest people follow my way of doing things. I think I'm in the minority, yeah, and I would really enjoy it if I could wake up earlier. I think it's a better way of going about things, but whatever works for you.
Well, there's a very well-known entrepreneur called Tony Robbins, and he's also a night owl. So there might be method in your madness. I seem to be more fresh in the morning at 4:30 than I'm trying to these days. You also have a baby now, but trying to keep the evenings for
family time.
My play time, my family
of course.
time. It's a very good. Jim Rohn always said, when you work, you work. When you play, but never mix it two. So
that's true.
I'm trying to work according to that principle. If I'm working, I'm not really in the mood, and everybody that knows me, I'm not really in the mood to play.
Yeah.
And, but the same with, like I say, if you weekend, if you need to watch a movie or if you go away for a weekend, that's your time to play. And that's, I mean, then you don't worry about your emails. And the best thing for me that I've done is to take off my emails from my phone.
Yes.
So I can actually just do that also in a structured way.
I agree with that. That's also something that I've learned to do is to not get onto social media platforms early mornings, to not go through my emails before I haven't hit that switch and actually got into the right frame of mind to actually dominate the day. Otherwise, the day, I feel like, will dominate me. If it's just negativity, or if I come across a mail or something that might knock me off guard, I don't want to be doing that before I haven't really gotten into that good frame of mind.
Yes, I like the idea of. I mean, I'm also a person that writing my goals down.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a separate journal for merely just my goals.
Yes.
But I mean, ultimately, the goals written down is the goals you're gonna achieve. It may not be that you will achieve all the goals, but I mean, there's a very good possibility if you write it down, because it's almost a confirmation and the promise to yourself that I'm going to work towards that goals. I
agree with that.
So, and I recently speak to a very creative person as well, and I told him, I mean, if you're a creative person, it's very difficult, like you say. Sometimes you feel like you're all over the place, and it's very normal for a creative brain to be like that. And so more important to actually write down your goals. And every morning, like I said, after your rituals, may it be prayer, may it be meditation, may it be reading. Every morning, just a quick 5-minute journal, just going through my goals again, just make sure I'm still on the right track. When I go to the office, that is my main priority. That's where my biggest income streams need to come from. That's where my passion is. But if you don't write it down and you are a very creative brain, you tend to lose the day. And you will win the day the moment you confirming to yourself your goals.
Agreed.
So
that's very good.
I like your feedback of all your good habits. Just give me one bad habit that somebody need to stop today. If entrepreneur or not even entrepreneur, any person.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with myself. I'll tell you some of my bad habits. I'm a social being, and I can easily get distracted when it comes to just social things in general. I'm very I struggle to say no to the odd coffee or the odd breakfast or the odd lunch with a mate or something like that, because I enjoy people so much and I really feed off people's energy, which is probably an extrovert thing. You know, my wife's completely different. She gets drained by loads of people, and she'd rather be more reserved, one-on-one kind of thing. So for me, like, I know that's a bad habit of mine, is sort of like the social aspect to learning how to say no. But I think with regards to entrepreneurship and on entrepreneur in general, procrastination, I would say, is a killer for any entrepreneur. I think if you're in business for yourself, that is something that you should probably consider like unlearning. You know, and it almost comes back to that thing of shelf development versus self-development. People who have all their ducks in a row, people who can prepare for hours, for months, for years. But I think what puts an entrepreneur in good stead is taking action. That is the number one thing that you're going to learn from essentially at the end of the day. I'll track it back once again to our network marketing business. You can track it back to anything, but I mean, our network marketing business, the way that we leverage people, the way that we teach people to get going is to just get going. Do the doing, go and do it. By doing it, there's no better lesson that you're going to learn than from doing it. You know, theory is theory. Having a clear-cut plan is one thing. I'm not against that. I love that. You have to have a plan before going into something. But by pondering on something for too long, eventually you're just going to die out because your mind's going to start playing tricks on you. Will it work? Can I do this? Maybe I should change that. But I found really, and once again, with regards to personal branding, if you think of branding yourself on social media, the only way that you're going to learn what works and what doesn't work, the only way that you're going to become comfortable with doing things and putting yourself out there and adding value is by doing it. You know, so I think procrastination is a killer for any entrepreneur. And if you can really just get into that mindset of getting into action, spurring yourself onto action, action is the only way to gain some real momentum.
I agree with you. I think the biggest, I know a lot of very talented people, but struggle to get to success. And it's merely because they want everything to be perfect before they go. And I mean, in business, for entrepreneur, nothing will be perfect. Maybe if you employee,
that's true.
Somebody, life will be perfect. If you're entrepreneur, it doesn't matter if you're in Africa or in America or in Europe. As an entrepreneur, life will be crazy and nothing will ever be perfect. But like you say, you just cover your risks and step over the line out of your comfort zone and get addicted to be out of your comfort zone.
That's so true.
Any books? I know you, like you say, you read a lot. Hopefully not the shelf person and the doer. But, just one book that you would advise that you recently read that you advise to anybody.
Yeah, I think just on that as well, just so that people know, it might sound as if like we're these ultimate readers and these super disciplined humans. And it's really not the case. Like, I mean, you just really learn to do things that matter. I think, I mean, before our business even started, I never read a book in my life. Like, I mean, I didn't even read Macbeth when I was supposed to in grade 8. You know, like I literally just went onto Google and found some like summaries of all the books that I was prescribed books that I was supposed to read. Like I wasn't a reader. But I think if you understand the value of it, the value of investing in yourself and gaining knowledge in your industry, growing yourself, it gives you more influence at the end of the day. It gives you more credibility. It gives you more confidence. It's the most amazing thing, investing in yourself. I think it's the best investment one can make, is the investment in yourself. So it wasn't always like this. For people that are starting out and for people that don't enjoy reading, I mean, maybe just start with audiobooks is also a great way of going about it, especially for people on the go. Podcasts is a great way of going about it. So, yeah, with regards to a really good book that I've read these days, I've got a couple of fan favorites, which I think will never change. In terms of business, Rich Dad Poor Dad is a given for anybody looking at becoming an entrepreneur. I think it's a great way of learning the fundamentals of owning your own business and developing the right mindset in terms of entrepreneurship. Think and Grow Rich, awesome book, really good book. These days, probably about a month ago, I read a book called Story Brand by Donald Miller. And it completely revolutionized the way that I look at storytelling. Marketing these days, you know, I'm sure you've heard it a lot as well, Jasper, but a lot of marketers talk about storytelling as a marketing technique. And something that works these days is to tell stories. We also have a saying in our business that says facts tell, but stories sell. It grips an emotion. It entices people to listen. And people love stories. We in general watch movies. We watch series. Like we do these things because we're intrigued by hearing people's stories. But essentially, like what this guy does in this book is he really explains how to story tell. So he really outlines how to story tell the right way. And it gives you like an entire framework on how to communicate your brand via storytelling, which has really helped me a lot, not only with my personal brand, but working with a lot of people on our team and working with a lot of clients. How to storytell, how to communicate your brand in a really efficient way. One of the things that he touches on is that in this information age, there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of information. And because we're so overloaded with information, you have to stand out. And you have to find a way to really stand out. You know, people, if they're scrolling through that news feed, that's what we're just generally prone to doing. How do you actually find someone that will find you and actually give you some attention? And one thing that he mentioned is that in this day and age of noise, clarity is the new creative, you know, and really being able to communicate your message in the most simplest terms is what wins. Because people you're burning too many calories. If people come across your profile, for example, and they don't know what you're all about because you haven't really had clarity in terms of describing what you do, people will move on because they're burning too many calories trying to think and trying to discover who is Jasper. Like, I don't get what he does. You know, does he do woodwork? Does he do roofing? Or is he a financial advisor? Does he do all three? I don't really know. That's a bit confusing. Next. You know, so clarity is really the new creative. It's something that he touches on often. And just in general, how to build your brand. And then after that, how to communicate your brand in the most efficient way via a storytelling method so that you can actually engage with your target audience. So I would suggest anyone who's building a business of their own, who's looking at marketing themselves, especially online, who has an existing brand, to go and check on your brand. Story Brand is a phenomenal book. Yeah.
Just on the topic of reading and apparently you're the bookworm. I think for anybody that struggles to read but do want to find value from reading, audiobooks, potentially, like you say, podcast. If you commute a lot, it's probably the best thing for you to do is to get something like Audible and podcast. So if you struggle with reading or are a bit afraid of that step towards picking up a book and reading, maybe to look at something like Audible just to get you. I mean, can be an easy listen, just to get you in the frame of mind. And in every book or audiobook, you will always get at least one thing that triggers and give you some idea in your business.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be. These days, I'm trying to read less. I used to read a lot of books, so I'm trying to read less, and I'm trying to actually
consume what you read.
Yeah, consume what I read. I highlight in the books, and after I've done with that, I actually just go through the highlighted parts and just to get it properly in my mind, and like you said, consume it properly.
Great strategy.
Is to slow our minds down with, especially all the social media and everything going on. Like you said, it's. I recently read a book from Dr. Leaf.
Caroline Leaf.
Yes, Caroline Leaf. That's right. It's a lot about neuroscience. And what I really liked about the book is neuroscience connected with Bible verses and Bible context.
I know exactly. I think it's Switch on Your Brain is the book.
Switch on Your Brain. That's it. Yeah.
Awesome book.
That's really eye-opener about neuroscience, about your subconscious mind. Very difficult book. And I think I'm going to need to read that about 5 times.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, that's a powerful statement that you made. And if you have to read the book 5 times, read it 5 times. You know, there's a very influential leader in our industry who he says that, you know, even if you read 1 book a year and you're actually consuming what you're reading and you're thinking about it, he'd rather do that than read 30 books, but you're blazing through it just to get through it, you know? So I agree with you 100% is really get stuck in, focus, and actually get something out of it. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it.
Well, that book especially, I mean, you probably read it as well, but I mean, it really emphasized the idea of slowing down and consuming something specific rather than to consume all these various social media streams and social media apps and accounts. To really slow your brain down and to focus on something specific.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Talking about smartphones and apps, any app that really make your life easier that you use, it doesn't have to be specifically business oriented. It's just an app that really made your life easier.
Well, there's a few. Audible that you mentioned now, 100%. Like audiobooks, that's made my life way easier. I mean, when you're on the road, listen to audiobooks when you're on the go, when you're traveling. And the nice thing about Audible is if you sign up, obviously you get a month free. But if you sign up and you got a monthly subscription, you get free credits that you can actually get like free books every month as well to listen to. So I enjoy Audible. For any creatives out there, if you're producing content on social media, Canva is an awesome app that you can use to create artworks, infographics, all kinds of different things for your social media work that you're doing. And then these webinar apps completely revolutionized the way we do business. Go to webinar on Zoom. I think we're doing this on Zoom. An awesome way to get your teams together all at one shot, do trainings, do presentations. It's a great way of communicating with people who are outside your sphere or demographic to really reach them via social communication. So I would say those 3 apps have really done it for me.
I agree. I also use all 3 of them, especially Zoom as well. I think it's between you and a few other guys that made me know Zoom and started using Zoom. It's great for meetings, but obviously still, like you said just a bit earlier about having coffees with friends and even with business associates. Nothing beats a proper coffee.
That's true.
It must be a proper coffee as well, but a coffee.
Yeah. Now you're talking.
But I mean, there is, like you as well. You sitting at that table place up in what's it, Tshwane, Pretoria.
Yeah.
And I mean, we sit in the beautiful Cape Town, so it's sometimes difficult to meet each other frequently. but Zoom definitely made our life easier. But nothing beats that personal touch with the coffee.
True.
Gary, thank you very much for your time. Anybody that want to follow you, where do you suggest that they start following you? I would suggest YouTube, but yeah, let me know what give me a few handles that you feel that people can follow you.
Well, I mean, I'm on all various social media platforms, so it all depends on what kind of content people would want to consume. So if people enjoy videos, 100% YouTube. You can check out my YouTube channel. I've got loads of videos on there, and more social like things you could consider Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook, and I'm also active on Instagram. So whichever platform your followers enjoy most, you'll probably find me there producing some form of content. So yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, and I'm sure we will definitely speak soon again.
We will. Thanks, Jasper, and thanks for all the work that you've been doing. You're doing really great, and I think we all value the information you're putting out there, and just the way that you do business in general. I mean, I've been doing business with you for 5 years now, and it's really been a pleasure. So thank you for you.
Thank you very much.